Good morning, Behance. Happy Monday. How are you today, guys? What are you planning to do today? What I'm planning to do today, I'm planning to share with you a quick compositing in Adobe Photoshop for beginners. Guys, let's start. Okay. I will be using Adobe Photoshop, of course, my favorite Wacom tablet, and also, guys, today I will be using images I downloaded and licensed from Adobe stock. Feel free to use any images you like. So let's start. I have opened Creative Cloud Library with all my images I downloaded and licensed from Adobe stock. To open any image from your Creative Cloud library as a separated document, simply double-click on your image, just like this, and voila. Now, definitely I would like to bring another image into my opened document. Let me scroll my library up, just like this. Where is it? And here I have another image I would like to use in my today's compositing. To add any image from your Creative Cloud library into your open document, simply click on your image and drag it into your document, just like this. It's very simple, guys. Now I will resize my image. I will bring size down just like that. I will reposition it, and I will bring size down a little bit more, just like this. Now I think it's exactly as she should be. Let me, maybe I can resize and increase image at any time later on, of course, but just like this. I mean, perfect. I will click OK to accept this layer. Now, guys, definitely I need to remove background from my document. I will zoom in my document just like that, and we have a few different ways of removing background from our document. First of all, I will rasterize my layer. Right click and rasterize, right like this. I mentioned that we have a few different absolutely amazing ways of removing a background from our image, and I would like to mention three latest updates with Photoshop, how you can remove your background. First update, latest update, you can remove background from your properties panel. Simply click remove a background, just like this, and voila, Photoshop removed a background for you. Also, you can use object selection tool. Simply switch to object selection tool and select your object just like that, and after that you can switch to select and mask, and you will be able to remove your background. Also, you can click on quick selection tool in the options bar, click on select subject just like that, and Photoshop selects your subject for you. Look at this, how great is it? After Photoshop select your subject, simply click on select and mask just like that, and voila, you will be redirected to select and mask workspace. I love select and mask workspace. I can select my subject and I can mask out my subject in the same workspace. I don't need to jump between different workspace to select and mask out my subject. Everything in the same workspace. I love it. First of all, let me zoom in my document just like that for better preview. And as you can see, Photoshop select everything, but because this image is very difficult, because all small details, Photoshop missed a few details here. I will switch to brush tool. I will bring size of my brush down, and using my brush I will tell Photoshop, please bring this part of my subject back. If I will switch to minus icon, I will ask Photoshop to remove this white background. Let me scroll up. Same between her hair. I will ask Photoshop. You know, Photoshop, I don't need this white background between her hair. Please remove it for me. Just like this. And I'm pretty much done. Let me fix this, please. Now, guys, currently I am in onion skin view mode. You can switch between any view mode you like. Why I love onion skin? Because, guys, here I have my transparency slider. Let me zoom out my document. If I will move transparency slider all the way to the left, I will bring my background back. If I will move my transparency slider all the way to the right, I will illuminate my background. Sometimes I'm moving my transparency slider somewhere in the middle if I would like to be sure that I'm selecting my subject in the best possible way. Now, I will remove my transparency slider all the way to the right. I don't need to see my background, but I will switch to black and white view mode. Why? Because using this view mode, it's easier for me to adjust my selection. I will switch to refined and edges brush, and using this brush with smaller side, I will adjust area around her hair. Just like this. Look at this. Photoshop did amazing job around her crown. Look at this, guys. This is simply amazing. And what I do is simply telling Photoshop what I want to improve, and Photoshop does the job. And guys, the best part, I do everything in the same workspace. How awesome is it? Look at this. Look at her hair. How perfect is it? Now I will switch back to my onion skin, and voila, look at this, guys. How beautiful is it? Let's talk about output settings. Output setting is very important, and I will explain why just in a second. First of all, I will check decontaminate colors box, just like this. Look at this, how perfect everything is. And I will specify output setting to new layer with a layer mask. Why? I will explain just in a second. After I specify everything, I will click OK. And guys, Photoshop creates a new layer with a layer mask, and my original layer, girl layer, is disabled. I will delete this layer, original layer, because I don't need it anymore. Guys, remember I asked you to specify your output to a new layer with layer mask. Why? Let me explain it to you. I will zoom in my document. Example, I would like to make my compositing more realistic, and because she is outside and it's impossible, her dress will be so perfectly aligned on top of all snow. So I would like to remove parts of her dress to make it more realistic. I will switch to my brush tool, and using this brush with black color, you can use any brush you're more comfortable with. I can paint out part of her dress. First of all, select a layer mask icon, and you will be able to erase to paint out part of her dress, just like that. But what if you would like to example adjust her hair? Because look at this, we missed part of white background between her hair. I will double click on my layer mask, and voila, Photoshop will redirect me back to select and mask workspace. And now I can erase white background between her hair, just like that. Look at this. Now everything is perfect in the way I wanted. And I will click OK, and Photoshop creates a new layer with layer mask, and I will delete my previous layer, just like this. To be able double click on layer mask, simply go to preferences, tools, and here guys, enable double click layer mask, launch, select and mask workspace, and voila. After you will enable this feature, you will be able double click on your layer mask and you will be redirected to select and mask workspace, and this is awesome. So using my brush with black color, I will click and select layer mask. I will paint out part of her dress to make my compositing more realistic looking, just like this. And again guys, you can use any brush you are more comfortable with. If you are painted out more than you wanted, example, I painted this part of her dress more than I wanted, I will simply switch color of my brush to white and I will bring back part of her dress. This is very, very simple guys. So just like this. And here. And now I have more realistic looking dress, like she's outside in the middle of the road, and maybe here. Just slightly guys. Perfect. Don't try to make obvious expression that yes, I composited this image, I combined 2, 3, 5 images together. Try to create everything in more realistic way without screaming, oh yes, I composited this image. So this is our image so far. Now I would like to add more details, more to bring more objects into my document. What I will do, I will highlight my background layer and I will scroll down my library. Here I have another image I downloaded and licensed from Adobe stock, dragon. I love dragons. I will click on this dragon and I will drag it into my document, just like this. This dragon obviously is too big for my document. I will resize it. I will bring size down and I will click OK. Perfect. Now right click on my layer to rasterize it, and I will show to you another way of removing background out of your document. Let me zoom in for better preview, just like this. I will switch guys to magic eraser tool and I will simply click on a white background, just like that. Look, let me zoom in. Using magic eraser tool, I'm simply clicking on a white background to remove it. Look at this. For better job, I will recommend you to zoom in your document, just like that. And now everything is much easier in between his fingers, just like this. Look at this. How awesome is it? Now, proportionally, I'm happy with my image. I'm happy with composition and proportions and everything like that. But we need to add a few shadows to make our image more realistic. And before we will start editing our shadows, we need to think about how we will add our shadows. So, look guys, our sun is behind all these trees. So of course shadow will be close to us, close to cameras, to our camera. I will highlight my background layer. I will add a new empty layer, just like that. I will switch to my brush tool. Again guys, you can use any brush you are more comfortable with. And I will be using dark shade of gray color. Why? Because we are working with a winter scene and our snow is white, so shadow will be in any shade of gray color with a few splashes of blue or orange, any splashes of any colors you would like to add to your shadows will work. So what I will do, I will increase size of my brush just like that, and I will add a little bit shadow under my dragon. Don't be scared, we will adjust everything just in a second. Just like this. And because, guys, I created my shadow using a separate layer, I can modify my layer in a way I like. First of all, we can try to change blend mode for our shadow. Let's see, we have live preview of a blend mode. It's very helpful. So I like kind of overlay or soft light. Let's see, I love overlay. And I can bring down opacity of my layer slightly, just like this. Now I'm happy with my first shadow. Guys, if you notice, in real world, shadow has different intensities. Part of our shadow which is close to our subject is always darker. I will create a new empty layer using same brush. I will add a little bit more shadow directly under my dragon, just like this. Just like this, guys. If you made any mistake, simply undo it. Bring size of your brush down to be more comfortable, and add a little bit more shadow, just like that. And again, because I worked using separate layer, I can bring down opacity of my layer. Also, guys, you can go to filter, blur. You can use any blur you are more comfortable with. Specify radius for your blur, just like that, and click OK. And now I have more realistic looking shadow. And again, guys, you can adjust your shadow at any time. Do not forget, when you will start working on your shadow, create a separate layer or layers. Now let's talk about our shadow under the girl. I will create a new empty layer, using same gray color with bigger size. I will add a little bit shadow under her dress, just like that. And again, I will switch blend mode to overlay, and I can bring down opacity of this layer. Now, to add a second layer of my shadow, I will create a new layer, and I will add a little bit more shadow directly under her dress, just like that. Now we have more realistic looking image. If you would like to add a little bit more details, feel free to do it. What I would like to do, I would like to change a color of my dragon. I will click on my dragon layer. I will click on adjustment, window adjustments, just like that. And I will click on hue saturation. Also, I will ask Photoshop to add adjustment only to the layer below my adjustment layer, only to my dragon. So I will add a clipping mask in my properties panel, just like this. And I will move my sliders. Simply will move my sliders in a different way to see what color I prefer for my dragon in this creation. Let's see. Not this. Maybe it just a little bit. Oh yes, a little bit more blue. Now I have winter dragon. And guys, because I applied my adjustment as a separate layer, I can modify my layer at any time. What I will do, I will simply bring down opacity of my layer, just like that, slightly. If you would like to change color of your dragon in in another way, I will show to you another way. I will delete this adjustment layer. I will highlight my dragon layer and I will click on photo filter, just like that. And again, I will ask Photoshop to add my adjustment, apply my adjustment only to the layer below my adjustment layer, only to my dragon. And I will change filter to, let's see, cooling filter, just like that. We have different cooling filters. Feel free to use any filter you like. I will switch to cooling filter 82 and I will move density of my filter to the right, just like that. Look at this. Now we have completely different story. Now our dragon is a winter dragon. So I'm happy with everything. I will merge all my layers. Merge visible. Let me close my adjustments panel. Look at this. Now I will duplicate my layer just to show to you before and after, just in a second, and I will launch my camera raw filter. I love camera raw filter. I'm using camera raw filter with my photography workflow, with my painting workflow, with my compositing workflow. I will use camera raw all the time. Here guys, before I will manually adjust my image, I will click on profiles. Just look at this. We have a lot of amazing profiles ready to use. What I will do, I will switch on artistic profile family, and let's see what profile I would like to use in our today creation. Look at this guys, how amazing is it. I love artistic 02 profile. I will click on it. Also, I'm able to increase or decrease amount of my profile will be applied to my image. Increase or decrease, everything is up to you. I will move my slider somewhere in the middle, about 99, and I will close it. Now I can adjust my image. I will increase a little bit contrast. I will add dehaze slightly guys, slightly, about +6, and I'm happy with my image. I will click OK. Look at this. And this is what I wanted to share with you today, guys. Again, if you have any questions, just ask. I will be more than happy to answer to any of your questions. And again, if you would like, if you have some specific request you want me to stream about, just let me know. I will gladly share with you my knowledge. So guys, thank you so much for being with me. And again, if you will create anything after this stream, I will super appreciate if you will share your creation on Twitter and will tag me in your creation. I always super happy to see what you are creating after my tutorials, after my streams. Really happy to see it. So guys, thank you so much. Happy Monday, and I will see you next time. Bye guys. Thank you so much.